Today, I have a bit of a confession to make, and it's about wedding photography. Earplug garbage from the hacksmith the other day. And it was very loud. Welcome to the studio today. I'm Taylor Jackson. I'm a wedding photographer from about an hour outside of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. This week over on the members website, I guess the key piece that I worked the hardest on is how to build your Instagram following to 10,000 followers in 2021. So it's a specific guide to that and gaining traction in a landscape that has changed from being very easy and very organic for your work to be featured to multiple people to something that has gone completely away from that. So it is all my thoughts and my outlooks on what you should be doing on Instagram and how to build your following from wherever you're at now, maybe 100 people, 50 people, up to 10,000 over the year. It is hard work, but there is a bit of a process in place that you can follow. And that's what's happening over on the members website this week. So click over there if you're interested. Today though, we're gonna look through this book. Not a whole lot of people have seen this book. I used to bring this to wedding meetings and I was super proud of it. If you look at the cover, there's actually a Fineo 1 with the silver peacock, and then I upgraded the cover, so it's like a metallic cover. So it's a black and white photo, but metal print. And as you can see, a beautiful stand with some empty glasses here and big. This is an off-camera light. And yeah, today we're gonna talk about how I wasn't a good photographer for a very, very long time. And I still consider myself to be somebody that's growing in photography, and there are so many people that can just absolutely shoot me under the table. This is maybe, I guess, motivation for you if you're looking at your portfolio and you're just not super happy with it. To take you back a little bit, I was super happy with this portfolio. This portfolio booked me a lot of work. Looking at it now, things have changed a little bit. This would have been from 2007. There's no date on it. Put dates in your album so you know. This is what my logo looked like at the time, but I have no idea what year it was. Also, all the pages in here are metallic as well, which is really, really funny. So everything's very reflective. And I did a collage page at the end. So I was like, I'm gonna finish this album with a huge, huge bang. Front page, front cover. Probably wouldn't put this image in an album at all, let alone on the cover of my only wedding album book that I was bringing to couples. Probably also wouldn't have printed, I guess this is kind of considered to be a smaller book. This, I think it's an 8x8. Album's very expensive, so I went with a smaller one. I would say go less pages and a bigger book with higher quality of photos if I was building this again. Looking through the book here, we open into a black page. I would probably recommend opening to white pages. And we go right into the first metallic print here. Beautiful, right? That one's not so bad. I think that's an okay way to open an album still. If I was building a new sample album, what I would be doing is I would be building things either in seasons, so depending on the season that the couple's getting married, I can flip kind of directly to that. Or I would be building it like an all-encompassing wedding album, so all the getting ready shots would go first and it would kind of go through the entire wedding day into the reception. I didn't understand that, I don't think. Opening again to a beautiful metallic double page shot of a venue that nobody cares about. Even then, I feel like very few people really cared about it, especially where I'm at. I'm 2.5 hours away from this place. So I'm showing this to somebody locally, they don't care. They have no connection with it. Why is it 2 pages? I don't know. Here we go. Abby and Sean, fantastic couple. I'm sorry that I wasn't a better photographer for you at the time. Engagement photos went really well. I think the wedding day went really well also. I think I've just made some really bad selects of the actual images that what I thought was like the best shots of the day weren't actually. So I'm happy that I gave them kind of everything, but definitely not an image that would end up in an album any longer. Lots of color. Starting to kind of almost, looks like a destination wedding. I think that's what I was going for. I obviously recolored this water, that this water is very murky and very gross in real life. And I went in Photoshop, and this was also a time, this would have been before Lightroom, so I would have edited each of these photos individually. I did not use Aperture. I did not have the money to purchase a Macintosh computer. What I was doing was going in Photoshop, image by image, loading it up, adding a totally rad action probably to it, and then trying to exposure it with the past one. So as my gallery went on, usually the exposure would go a little bit wild, or things would become a lot more contrasty, or things would become a lot more warmer. Or if I was editing in an environment like this and it gets sunny out, then that obviously has an effect on my images as well. This I'm gonna guess this is a fake sky too. That definitely looks like a fake sky. And I clipped the highlights. I only shot JPEGs, as you can see, with all the clipped highlights in these. I only shot JPEG at this time because it was too expensive for me to actually afford cards that could contain RAW files. But definitely a fake background there. And even in the fake background, the highlights are clipped. Or maybe I just clipped the highlights in post. I was just like raster it to a JPEG and just edit. Should have painted back the dress a little bit. These clouds a little bit too bright. Yeah, very, very blue page. Maybe this is how I booked my first destination wedding. I doubt it.
Just wanted to give a quick editing shout out here to the fisheye lens that I missed when looking at this in real life. There was just so much going on that I missed it, and it's a beautiful example of that 10.5 millimeter DX fisheye lens for Nikon.
Full page of a kid. This is what they call negative space. I think I was like, yes, this is the perfect. This is just so negative, it balances so well. This is art. Again, clipped highlights. I don't know if it might also be the fact that I printed on metallic paper that the highlights clip a little bit easier, but there's clipped highlights everywhere. Face, dress, hand. Why is the hand kind of, like you can see when you're designing the album that the hand is gonna get cut across here. Don't put people's limbs and weird stuff in the fold here. Yeah, this page probably, I would say this page specifically right here, probably my favorite of the album so far. Very, very beautiful work. Flipping back to the first image here. This is also the first time I've looked at this book in, I'm gonna say maybe 10 years. So this photo, now all of a sudden you get to watch it black and white and larger. So yeah, a lot of nothing happening so far in this album. But this is fun. Getting into some stuff. This is when cross-processing was huge. I think the next year was the year that everyone started putting grunge textures on my photos, so maybe I'll find the album that I made after this because it'll be even more hilarious. This is my buddy Craig and Jen. Well, this is them in the middle. This was the first wedding that I actually ever went to as an adult. I went to a wedding as a ring bearer, and then I went to their wedding as just a dude with a camera. And I got a few good photos. I was very happy with it. As you can see, my white balance is a little bit crazy, probably intentional. Again, shooting on JPEG, and I don't know. That held together pretty well. I'm not mad. People are in focus. Not everyone's looking their best. There's some purple fringing, some magenta fringing, some blown highlights, but it's okay.
Editor note here that I didn't notice, all the images have this beautiful border around them to make it look like they're real three-dimensional photographs. Don't ever do that.
Here's another one. Maybe don't, again, splitting of the limbs, not so great. And splitting of the couple, I don't know. It's kind of okay. It's not really a great photo. It probably doesn't belong as a full page spread in a sample album, but maybe in their specific album, that's cool. Yeah. My lenses that I would have been using at this time, I would have had a Nikon 35mm f2D, so that is probably what this is from, and then I had the 85 1.8D as well, and I used that for a long time, and I was very, very happy. Even today, oh, this is a good one. Even today, I'm still happy with those lenses we shot with the 85 1.8D last year, and I'm still like, old glass, it holds up. Don't stress if you're on the old stuff. You don't gotta buy the latest and greatest. Here we go. How many errors did I make in this? One, the couple is clipped in half. Two, it's still a metallic image. And three, spot color, center composed, nothing really going on. Not even spot color, just specifically like selective color of just the couple. Spot color would be that if only these yellow flowers were in color and everything else is black and white. I just selected like, hey, my composition sucks, but you know what could make it better if I just draw them in color. It worked out pretty well. And then sticking with the with what I'm really good at, the super clipped highlights up here and really everywhere. May have been shooting raw at this wedding, so I could have saved that. Also, I would have given them the actual non-stylized version like this. That's one thing that I'm very happy that I did from the very beginning, was that I was giving people like my creative edits like this, where I just put on a 45-degree angle. Why? And I would also give them the normal version. I thought the normal version was boring and like, you're never gonna use that. You're gonna use this one that's on a 45-degree angle for some reason. Look at this, everything. Super clearly a fake sky right here. Like not even a good Photoshop job. I was pretty good at Photoshop, not so good in this specific case. Really terrible, weird angle on this. I think actually, so I would have shot this on a 45, maybe this way, and I actually straightened it in the album. I was like, maybe it's too much. And then this is, if I could say like a quintessential style at the time, it would have been this image right here, that you were on a slanted angle for no reason whatsoever and everyone was falling off the side of the earth. Great page, great page. Next up, big faces. I was using an action that kind of added this glow to everyone. I don't recommend using any action that adds a glow to your image. Just be normal. Add some skin smoothing if it's a problem, but don't just add a glow that just kind of affects all the highlights and shadows and makes it look like this, because you just look like you're in 2004. Not even really in focus either. Here's a good one. Just like this creeping through in the center here. This was, I believe this was the Becker shot where you would just get whoever you wanted to do a portrait of to like bend down on the ground, and you shoot it with an 85 straight down on them. It seemed amazing at the time. You can get such crazy depth of field. Now it's a bit of a weird angle. Also the center line going right through the eyeball, maybe not recommended. And then 2 other images, just, I don't know, those aren't so bad. I don't know why I was going with the sepia tone for everything, but I was. I would recommend maybe just going black and white. Maybe don't go sepia. This isn't as bad. I was expecting this to be like really terrible, but it's okay. It's mostly just the clipped highlights in every single photo and this weird glow that I decided to put on everything. This is the look that we call the surveyor, or somebody on the internet called it the surveyor. It's where you get people to just point for no reason whatsoever off in a direction. That's the surveyor. It gets a full page right there. Fantastic shot. And then ones that maybe could have, no. I would say they're all equal in just being average and okay shots. But at least they're pointing at themselves. I thought I was probably pretty clever, and I was like, look at this. They're pointing, they're leading, your eye is going into these photos. Amazing. Again, that strange and unusual glowy edit. You can definitely see it over here. There's some sticks coming out of people that there shouldn't be coming sticks out. There's a palm tree. We're in Ontario and there's a palm tree. And then I cut the bride's dress in half a little bit. So I should have been a little bit more aware of that. But I don't know, this image, not so bad. I could have taken like 5 steps this way and I think it would have been a much better image. But overall, it's a good scene. Probably should have photoshopped these people out too. These are not people that were there for the wedding, but they're there. They're there in this book forever now. The grocery store. If you haven't done an engagement session in a grocery store because you've run out of locations, you really just haven't begun your photography career yet. Alicia and Ryan, probably, I would say these two are my favorite couple. No disrespect to Graham and Krista up here, which Graham was my manager at Outback Steakhouse for a bunch of years. Alicia and Ryan, they were probably the first couple to like really truly trust me with their photography. And I had shot other couples in the past, but they were very much the first ones that were like, hey, let's just like go have fun. We trust you, like whatever you'll create. And I was like, we're going to the grocery store. I've also done, I'm gonna say I've done 3 shoots in the grocery store. Sometimes you get kicked out, not all the time though. Those photos though, I'm not too like, they're obviously ridiculous. Like why would these exist? This one's fine. This one's on a 45 again, sorry Graham. I think your wedding photos are better. They got married like 2 years after the engagement session, so I think I improved a lot. Here we go. I like the style here where some people are wearing sunglasses and some aren't. Always ask your couples to take sunglasses off or put them all on at the same time. I recommend off and put them in the shade. And also the old pick the bride up, which is fine. This one's all right still. If I didn't put that stupid filter on it and print it on metallic, this one's completely out of focus and purple/blue clipped. I'm not really sure how I did that, but I was probably shooting on aperture priority and I was just not aware that my shutter speed was 1/30th of a second. That's how that came together. Again, with the clipping of the faces in the center of the line there, not so great, but that's an okay image. I feel like this is, if I was using off-camera flash, I wasn't using it correctly because the flash is a lot too harsh, or it might have actually been a stage light as well. Not the best expression, not the best angle. Probably should have picked another one to put for 2 full pages in an album. Back to that opening shot, and then the other shot. This shot is in here 4 times. It shows that I didn't really, or at least I hadn't yet shot a whole lot of weddings, especially ceremonies that were nice, when you just keep coming back to the same one. Probably be aware of tent lines coming through people. It's not so good. And then the sky, beautiful blue sky, probably that day, but you don't know that because I was probably shooting JPEG. And then ending, wonder if there's anything else on here that, there are a few. As I mentioned, this image right here, really on quite an extreme angle. More of an extreme angle than, I would say that I put this image in my album because of how extreme the angle was. I was like, no one will ever get closer to exactly 45 degrees. I feel like I'm bordering even beyond 45 degrees on this here. And then, yeah, bottom corner, I screwed it up with the surveyor pointing off, or maybe that was the intention, that it was like a button that you're supposed to click on the internet. It's like, now you go to the next page. Then my beautiful logo. That's my first wedding album. I hope that you enjoyed. Hopefully there were some tips in there if you've made any of the same mistakes. And again, if you haven't yet done an engagement session in a grocery store, like you're not yet a photographer, so please do that immediately. I've done probably 3 or 4 music shoots in grocery stores too. We did a music video like 2 years ago.
5 independent breakfast cereal companies. I make them in my basement and I'm trying to get them out on shelves worldwide. Greg is my co-founder and cereal is our retirement plan. This is the big one. We're gonna be rich. Annuities. Cereal money from the stores to the shelves to the
for serial entrepreneur in the grocery store, in the same grocery store actually, the same grocery store that I shot my first grocery store engagement session at that I can't find. We went back and we shot Serial Entrepreneur there, which is my song with my buddy Greg Roulette from Orlando, where we sing about being serial entrepreneurs that just got it wrong. And we invested in cereal companies rather than actually starting many different companies, which is traditionally what a serial entrepreneur is. Serial with an S, not a C. We did the C. And that brings us to the end of this video. This week though, on the member site, how to get to 10,000 subscribers on Instagram in 2021. It will be my full process and everything that I recommend in 2021. I would say that as somebody that has a bit of a following on Instagram, the main benefit of it is not only the people that they come and they like your photos sometimes, but more so as a business marketing tool to show that you really are an established photographer. There's a lot of expert status and social status that comes with success on that platform, and it's something that people are checking against, like, do we trust this person? Are they a real person? Are they gonna show up at our wedding? They go to your Instagram site and maybe there's like 25 people following you and they're gonna be like, like that's a hesitation. They come to your site and they see that there's a lot of engagement and there's a lot of people following you. They're going to be very happy to just kind of like be like, yeah, like this person's real for sure. Like, wow, people actually follow them. And then on some level, I feel like people always want their images shared on big accounts so that that they can get more followers as well. I feel like that's something that's also in the minds of people. So I would definitely recommend following a couple of the steps and seeing how it goes over the next couple of months. It's not just like a light switch where you flip it and all of a sudden you have 10,000 followers on Instagram. If that happens, usually that triggers a lot of just like untrustworthy feelings of people that are currently following you, because it just looks like you just bought up everybody. If you grow organically over some time and you can show the progression, you also kind of learn from your mistakes as well. And by the end of the year, you have something that will continue to book you work over time. I feel like the other massive benefit is that if you're looking to work with maybe travel brands or different brands in your area, that there's a pretty good chance that if you have a bigger Instagram following, they are going to trust you, 1, to create content for them a lot faster. 2, there's always some sort of kind of like brand sponsorship deal within there that you can maybe utilize, whether it's for like in-kind services, like if you're doing a shoot at a clothing store that you shop at, maybe you do something for like at-cost clothing or something like that, and you share some things. There's a number of different ways you can do it. You can also obviously just charge money as well. That's definitely a possibility, and I would say more this year than ever before. Bigger brands actually understand that. I'm gonna say when we were trying to do travel deals in 2016, 15, it was very much a struggle to get anyone, like everyone, if the social media manager wanted to like do a deal and they're like, yeah, like we'd love to have you come here, we're gonna set you up for the week at this resort, and we're gonna pay you money depending on like these, like here's your bunch of packages, and we'd love to do like a 2-minute highlight video as well as like all this other stuff and maybe unlimited licensing for the photos. That the social media person could understand that. Stepping up to the boss level, their boss, if they're like a 70-year-old dude, like there's a pretty good chance they're gonna be like, no, we're not gonna spend money on like Instagram? No, I don't think so. So a lot of deals would fall apart when it went to the boss level, even though the deal was like finalized with the person we were talking to. So Instagram following is good for a lot of different things, including getting unique and interesting experiences, as well as experiences that might not be open to the general public either yet or just totally entirely at all. That's all for today. Click over to the members website and get started on that Instagram content. I will see you again here in 2 days from now, without this book though. I'm not gonna throw it out. I'm gonna keep this forever because I think I'm gonna keep it forever because that one spot color image that's like right in the center, I think I'm gonna print this out and I'm gonna put it up in the studio. You're gonna see the next video and there's gonna be a huge canvas behind me here that's just this image.
Cereal money from the stores to the shelves to the bank to the shop with the Christmas elves. Who can make my toys? Who can drive my boat? Put milk in my cereal. This ain't no joke. Coconut milk, avocado toast, Tesla autopilot, dripping in wealth. Easy kicks for all three kids. Louis Vuitton on the baby's bib. Scrooge McDuck swimming in pools. Private jets dripping in jewels. Sugar, wheat, and flour. On a box with a panda, maybe a tiger. Making it rain, at least till it expires. Dreaming about it, gotta be the one. Or else we'll pivot to make some Pop-Tarts and gum? I like gum. We're not gonna pivot. We are the cereal entrepreneurs, and we're here to disrupt the cereal market.